Ever since I turned 40, life has really changed. It's felt like I've been driving this whole time, but it's only now that I'm stopping to look at the fuel gauge. And the problem with that is that I don't get to refill it. What I've used so far is something I'm never getting back. Now that's not meant to be depressing, but what that is meant to do, especially for me, is to really understand the nature of time and of life itself, because I've been just so busy and overwhelmed and overburdened even with obligation, with responsibility, with trying to function as a man, as a partner, as a son, as a brother, that basically up until this point it's been one big blur. Now, I'm not saying my life has been bad. I mean, there's definitely been hardship and struggle and lots of dark times, but life is life. We all go through shit. But the concept of the fuel gauge has really been bothering me these last couple of days, because it's the perfect reminder that life is not something we can regenerate. No matter what religion you may believe in, we're here once, physically, as who we are now. And the fuel gauge is just, it's tripping me out, because I've already used over half of the fuel. And that's assuming I'm gonna make it to the finish line at 75 or 80. I mean, to continue the metaphor, I may hit a pothole or I may run over something and the fuel could leak out even quicker. I hope it doesn't, but let's say that I live a long, fruitful life till I'm 80. I'm already 41, so that's more than half. Quick maths, of course, but maybe 30 years are gonna be good years. So this concept of the fuel gauge, I've been more and more aware of it. I guess you could replace that with the hourglass, with the constant ticking, with the feeling of an impending mortality. All of those things are basically the same, but this fuel gauge concept, I've already used half of the fuel that I've been given in this life. I just can't help it now. I have both hands on the wheel. I know exactly where I want to go in life. I'm taking the bull by the horns, but I keep looking down at this fuel gauge. Now, I'm not doing that in a frightened way, or I'm not doing that in a way that is making me anxious or nervous, because like I've been speaking about in other videos, I'm very aware of our impending death. We're gonna die, I'm gonna die. There's nothing new. It doesn't frighten me. The concept is not startling, but this concept of the gauge, because I'm essentially watching it in real time drop. I mean, it's a slower drop now that I'm aware of it, because obviously I'm really making sure that my days and the time that I have left is being put to good use. It's not just a blur of obligation, routine, and mindless, repetitive existence. That being said, it's still there. Yeah, I think after turning 40, I really started paying attention to the dashboard. That when I was younger, I could just drive endlessly, that I could take any turn, I could always circle back, that I'd be endless opportunities, that I'd have infinite amount of fuel, that I'd be able to just navigate the world in a clumsy way, because there's always going to be another opportunity, there's going to be more time. I'm only 25, I got plenty of time. I'm only 30, I still heaps of time. I'm only 35, you know, I'm still in that young bracket. Now I'm 41. Again, 41 isn't old, but it sure feels older, and even psychologically, you don't fit into the young bracket anymore, 18 to 35 on application forms, on competitions. Little things like that just make you pay attention to the fact that, you know what, time is leaking out slowly. So this metaphor, this creative concept of the fuel gauge is really bothering me. But because it's bothering me, I'm gonna use it for fuel. I'm gonna use it for motivation. I'm gonna use it to really make sure that the turns that I do make from this point onwards are more considered, are in alignment with what I actually wanna do and where I wanna go. And that's the difference from being really young and in your adolescence to perhaps middle-aged or approaching middle age, where you are more careful Not in a tedious, scared way, but in a way that you know that you have less wrong turns left to make in your life. I can't really afford to make too many more wrong turns. Now, I'm not saying that what I'm doing now is guaranteed to be fruitful or successful, and then if it's not, then I will pivot. Of course, I will have time and the skill and the creativity to keep doing that. But I also know that as time goes by, the ease of that pivot, the change in technology, the change in the social fabric, the way we are doing business, the economic structure, geopolitics, everything is changing in real time. So I just know as a 41-year-old man going on 42 who is mindful of the fuel gauge, the metaphorical fuel gauge, I know that I can't make too many more wrong turns. And that's fine. I'm not worried about doing it because I'm still learning. I mean, we're all learning. It's just that I'm aware of it now, and it's something different. There's an edge there now to every day in which I wake up with the notion of, well, I'm sure the fuel gauge just went down, maybe minutely, barely perceptible, but it definitely dropped overnight, and it's going to continue to drop. Ultimately, the reason I left my hometown, got on a plane, flew to the other side of the world is because of this. I just couldn't keep driving in the same circles. Not anymore. Even though those circles are familiar, comfortable, I get fed well, I make enough money. While doing those same familiar, safe circles, the fuel gauge, of course, is still going down in the same way as if I were driving as I am now towards the unknown. Now, again, there's nothing wrong with doing those familiar safe laps, but I just needed to leave the track. I needed to hit the highway, drive interstate, internationally, obviously on a plane, but we're keeping the metaphor alive here. And I needed just to keep driving. And now in my rearview mirror, there is no comfortable hometown. There is no comfortable circuit where I can just lap and lap and lap. I have abandoned the comfort zone. I have abandoned the safety net of that circuit. As I'm saying this though, no matter if you choose to just keep lapping your whole life or if you drive towards the unknown, the horizon of uncertainty, the fuel gauge will go down and it will empty. So you have to ask yourself, 2 hands on the wheel, which way do you want to go in life? I'll leave you with this. Finally seeing that fuel gauge, that metaphorical, unsettling fuel gauge, it's really been something now that I interpret as a gift. Even though it has been bothering me, even though it's continuously playing over and over, it's made me see time and the world and me in it differently now. It's made me stand up, pay attention and say, you know what, if I only have so many turns left or so many kilometers left on the dash, then I got to make the most of it. I got to stop messing about and really go in a direction that I've always felt that I needed to go. Because if I get cold feet, if I rip the handbrake up, do a huge U-turn and go back to the safe circuit of which I've lived my whole life, I know deep in my heart that I'll regret it for the rest of my life. The crowd is cheering for me back home. They have signs, come back. You got a pit stop there, you have restaurants, you have the mall, you have a comfortable life. I don't want that anymore. I want the uncertainty, I want the risk because I know the reward will be greater. And I mean, the reward is secondary to just knowing. I need to know what I can do. And the only way to do that is to put 2 hands on the wheel, white-knuckled, foot down, and go for it. So if that's you, if this resonates with you, if this metaphor, this creative concept of the fuel gauge in relation to how much time you have left in this world is hitting and you feel like, you know what, this guy, I don't mind this guy, then I would love if you hit the subscribe button, leave some comments because I'd love to really generate a conversation around this. I don't want to just be the one talking the whole time. I want people to contribute to the conversation. It's really the purpose of this channel, is to really get people talking because we don't get to do it a lot in this life. the digital soup of which we swim, the obligations, the constant pressures, our government completely ruining any hope we have for the future. All of these things combined doesn't really leave us with a lot of opportunity, a lot of clarity, intellectual space even, to communicate and talk to each other like this. So if you are wanting to participate, please, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this video, on any other videos that I've made, and yeah, how you feel about the time you have left.